Hello, viewers. It's Cynthia Michael from Gleeview, bringing you a new podcast from my segment called The Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe so loud, not to breathe so loud during this audio podcast recording, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18. This audio podcast recording will contain to adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain to adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, then you get to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this and everything else out the way, let's get to the latest episode of Donbrothers. So basically, the episode starts off like this: we see Sanja along with his two comrades being Sanai and Omi. Like he was thinking about the beastly being free from somehow these beastlies got free from the shield, and him and his comrades were kind of like freaking out about this about the beastlies, being free, and they're now appearing now appearing in the human world. So basically, he's I said that I need to go see the Guardian. So basically, the others was like who's the Guardian, and that's when they show up where Jin Nobuto's adopted father, which it's been this whole time in this virtual prison, and turns out that according to Sunai, that Jin was a guardian he was a guardian that was punished. He was made a guardian as punishment, and he's supposed to look over that place that he's in prison to. Turns out that when the place that Jin has been in prison, been in that virtual space that he's been in prison to, is actually a borderline between the human world and between the cerebral brand world, being where Sunai and his comrades are from. So basically, it turned out that whatever Jin did, he might be a Minbray, just like Sunai and the others. So basically, Jin was like usual, what you want, and Sunai said that the beastlies are free, they're in the human world. So basically, Jin said that's not possible, but Sunai said, I saw the vision, they got free somehow, they got free somehow, and they're basically with the beastlies running free, they're gonna destroy the human world and our world as well. So basically, Jin said that, alright, so basically, if the beastlies are free, then that will be a huge problem. That will be a huge problem to deal with the beastlies. So basically, before Jin said that, beware that the beastlies are a separate origami. So basically, they like to make penguins, cranes, and cats out of origami paper, So basically, Jin said that was telling someone and the others that that the beastlies are obsessed with origami. They like to make cats, penguins, and cranes. So basically, he's just telling them that that's the only that's the only way, like telling him that's a quick way to identify if the person is possessed by Beasley, and also beware of the origami paper beware of the origami paper that it also could be deadly to humans as well. So basically, if they make things out of origami, out of paper, turn it into an origami shape, cats and shit like that, it could be deadly to people. So anyway, meanwhile, we see the detective who's on the bus, who's on the bus when the Beastlies, took. So basically, we see the detective who's been looking for Isbad, the Black Ranger. It turns out he possessed. He was on the bus when the Beastlies took. So when the Beastlies took those 41 passengers, and basically turns out there's a Beastly possessing his body, and we see the detective making origami cat heads out of paper. So basically, it turned out that turned out they got a lead on about Edgebar's whereabouts. Turned out he was working a dishwasher. Turned out he was a dishwasher at a restaurant somewhere. So basically, Edgebar had a little, Edgebar was having a daydream about his wife and whatnot, and until he accidentally dropped some dishes. It's like, you know what? The boss said that go home. So basically, after the boss said it's for home, the police showed up, and basically, Isbah hopped on his motorcycle and basically tried to get away from the three cops. Got away to two out of the three cops, except to the detective that was possessed by the Beastly. To the detective who was possessed by the BC went inside of the restaurant, ate up some food real quick, and basically gained some superhuman speed, and chased down Isbar while he was on his motorcycle. So basically, Isbar used the virtual doorways to try to get away from the detective that was possessed by the Beastly, but somehow managed to follow Isbar to a warehouse, and basically just start to manhandle Isbar, and he took that cat head that he made from paper and put it in his mouth, and basically it basically looked like he was about to choke Isbah to death, but Isbah managed to break himself free, and managed to get away from the detective that was possessed by the Beastly, and escape through the virtual doorways, and the detective who was possessed by the Beastly didn't follow him. So anyway, meanwhile, somewhere else, we see. So basically, we see Momotaro on his delivery route as usual. He stopped by this house where a ninja dude lives. So basically, it turned out this guy is a ninja, sort of a ninja, and basically it turned out that Momotaro was delivering a package to him that had a ninja weapon in it. So basically, Momotaro said, I can help you use your new ninja weapon. Show you how to use your new ninja weapon. But the ninja was like, no, wait, I know how to use my ninja. I don't know how to use this ninja weapon. But so basically, the guy was showing off, was showing off his new ninja weapon that Momotaro just delivered. But it seemed like he didn't really get the hint. He could have really handed it until Momotaro stopped him before he hurt her. Momotaro stopped him before he hurt himself. I think Momotaro said that I think that I feel like you need to practice some more before you master this weapon. And basically, Momotaro walked away. So it turns out that the ninja dude started to show. It turned out the ninja dude started to show signs that he was just by a Naho. So basically, this ninja dude is suspected of being a real ninja, and Naho started to take control of his body, and basically wanted revenge of Mobutaro for making him look bad, making him look bad, making him look bad. Making him look bad and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, back at Yoshi's apartment, we see Yoshi basically coming back to what basically we see Yoshi in his apartment just chilling. His wife is at work and whatnot. It seems like it's Yoshi's day off and whatnot. And basically, he heard a knock at his door, and basically it was Isbal or not looking too good after his battle with the Beastly. So basically, whatever that piece of Omega paper that he stick into Isbal is causing him to have, fever, a bad fever and whatnot. So he didn't know what to do, and so basically he went to go ask Mutari to help. So basically, he said that, that Thursday Isbal, he's at my house, he's very sick, he's running a high fever and whatnot. So basically, I can't take him to the hospital, he got locked up. So basically, like Mobutaro said that, I can't help you right now. I have to finish my deliveries, but I will send somebody. But I will send somebody. I will send somebody to help you with your situation. So basically, Yoshi went back to his, back to his apartment and waited for the person that Mobutaro blah blah blah. Sorry, So basically, Yoshi went back to the apartment to take care of Isbal and waited to the person that Momotaro was sent to help him with take care of Isbal. Turns out it was Hakura, the other ranger. Now at this point, Hakura did see Yoshi morph into the Pink Ranger, but it seems like she forgot that Yoshi is the Pink Ranger. So basically, Hakura did see Yoshi transform into the Pink Ranger in the first episode, but she forgot that Yoshi is a Pink Ranger. So anyway, basically, pushing those times to cool trying to cool him down because he was running a fever and whatnot, a high fever and whatnot. So basically, they put a cold wire on his forehead. So basically, Isbal started to wake up, and his high fever. What is high fever? He thought that Hakura was his wife, was her. No, so basically. Isbal woke up and because of his high fever, he thought that Hakura was her wife and whatnot, and Hakura snapped Isbal, and Isbal came to his sisters, blah blah blah. So basically, things didn't really get. So basically, Hakura didn't really help the situation, and that's when Shinji showed up, and basically at this point, Shinji doesn't know that Yoshi is the Shinji doesn't know that Yoshi is the Pink Ranger at this point. So basically, So basically, Shinji's help, help, what Shinji's help, they were like, tried to treat, they tried to treat this, tried to treat Isbar. When Shinji help, with Shinji help, they try, they try to treat, try to treat Isbar's fever and whatnot. Me. So anyway, so basically, like Shinji and Hara had a conversation outside the room where Isba and Ichiyoshi was in. So basically, Shinji was like, we should not let Isba and Ichiyoshi know that we are our Power Rangers. So basically, at this point, we he said like we should keep our identity as Power Rangers a secret. So, but Hakuta agreed. So basically, and that's when Hara said that maybe we should find out the other identity of the finally find out the identity of the Black and Pink Ranger, the Black and Pink Ranger, the Black and Pink Rangers. So basically, and Shinji said, I agree. We should find out who are the other two Power Rangers. Basically, the Black. We need to find out once we're done here, we should, find out the identity of the Black and Pink Rangers. So anyway. So anyway, meanwhile, back on Moto's delivery route, the ninja, tried to do a sneak attack on Moto, but lucky for Moto, he has quick reflexes and whatnot. So basically, the ninja dude, turned forward into a Naho monster based on his ninja, and basically started to attack Moto more thought and basically into his ranger force and start to fight the ninja dude in the Naho foot soldiers by himself. So basically, as usual, the morphers, each of the rangers morphers except for Isbar. So Isbar was too sick. So basically, the rangers morphers appeared and transformed them into the ranger force and transported them to where the Naho monster where Momotaro and the Naho monsters and the foot soldiers were having that fight at. So basically, Isbar was too sick. So basically, turns out that the morpho that Isbar was too sick to battle. So basically, his morpho did not just appear in front of him and transform transformed him into his ranger form and told to the fight team he was too sick and whatnot to do anything. So basically, lucky for them that that Yoshi was in the room with Isbar while Hakura and Sensei were in the kitchen talking. So basically, they did not see these three did not see them transform into the ranger form and teleported out of the building. So basically, they showed up. They saw Mobile fighting the foot soldier and the monster. So basically, the other rangers were can we help you? We had help, but he told Shinji and Harawa to go back to what you guys to do it. I can handle these guys by myself. So basically, without any argument, they went back to. So they demorphed and transferred back to Ijoshi's apartment. But Ijoshi stepped on some metal spikes. Well, in his ranger form, he stepped on some metal spikes by the ninja monster and basically hurt his foot. So basically, when Ijoshi, demorphed, he went to the hospital to treat his injured foot from those metal ninja's fight that he stepped on while he was in ranger form. So basically, like, Haru and Shinji was like, what the hell is Yoshi went at? So basically, Yoshi came back, he said, I went to the hospital to go check my injured foot, I got some medicine here. So basically, they thought that that the medicine was to treat Isbar's high fever, but turns out it was a laxative medicine for for Yoshi's stomach problems. So basically, like Yoshi said that I've been having some stomach problems lately, so basically that medicine was not for Isbar, but it made Isbar went to the bathroom real quick and whatnot. So anyway, so basically Hakura and Shinji went into the kitchen to go make some tea, but they were still worried about Motaro, and they decided to morph and teleport back to the fight to help out Motaro against those foot soldiers and that Naho ninja monster. So basically, these two idiots left the tea, left the boiling water that was using to make tea with to help Isbar unattended. So anyway, so basically, Shinji and Hagura showed up and started to help, Motaro take down the foot soldiers. So anyway, back at Yoshi's apartment, he saw that the tea, that these idiots left the tea unattended, and basically he tried to cut off the stove because the tea was starting to boil over, and he dropped the tea and burned it. He got the tea. It's like him barefooted and all. He kind of burned his foot. He kind of burned his injured foot and forced him to his morpho forced him to morph and teleport towards the battle where the other rangers were. So basically, in Ranger form, Shinji decided to use Yoshi's Ranger form to take out the rest of the footers like a giant boomerang. So basically, in Ranger form, Shinji's gorilla straight, he tossed Yoshi in Ranger form like a goddamn boomerang and took out all of the foot soldiers, and basically it was just Motaro fighting the monster by himself, and everybody turned back to. So basically, Hakura is Yoshi, and Shinji turned back to Yoshi's apartment. So basically, but they did not see them. When they teleported back, demorphed and teleported back to Yoshi's apartment, they did not see them, arrive. So basically, they was wondering what the hell, Hakura and Shinji was wondering why is Yoshi on the floor like this. Oh, and they realized that he must have burned his foot. So basically, they did not see them. They teleported at different times. So basically, Yoshi teleported after he took out the foot soldiers. Once Yoshi took out the foot soldiers, then Hakura and Shinji teleported after after Yoshi did. So basically it was just Motaro fighting the Naho ninja monster myself, but that's what the Naho monster started to make copies of himself. So basically, instead of one ninja monster, it was 5 ninja monsters that Motaro had to deal with. So basically, he had to fight 5 copies of the ninja monster by himself. So anyway. So anyway, the idiots, the idiots were still trying to help Idfar, to get over his fever and whatnot. But they were still worried that Mobitaro was, might still need help fighting that monster. So basically, but they couldn't leave because they was afraid that if they leave right now, that HOC would find out that the Rangers, even though they don't know that HOC is a Ranger. So basically, Shinji got an idea. So basically, he told Izzy to put a bolt of salt on his head and close his eyes and pray for Ichiban's fever to go down. And so basically, as a diversion, and use that as a diversion for him and Hakra to teleport it back to the fight, back to the fight and go help out Mobitaro. So anyway, Shinji and Hako morphed up again and teleported to the battle scene and basically started to help Mobitaro. So while with it, once again Ijoshi Morpher showed up and basically teleport him and morphed into the Pink Ranger and teleported him towards the battlefield, and that's when Hakura and Shinji noticed that the ball of salt, and they finally figured out that Isoshi is the Pink Ranger now. So basically now Hakura and Shinji knows that Ijoshi is the Pink Ranger. So basically they started to. So basically the four Rangers started to fight the five ninja clone monsters and whatnot. So anyway, that's when so HFC's wife Midiko showed up and basically saw Ishbra, laying in the futon bed and basically and started to really once she saw Yoshi, looking bad and whatnot and looking all sick and whatnot, and she started to act weird, and that's when she pulled out that origami cat paper from Edgebar's mouth, and basically his fever was gone. Once Edgebar's fever was gone, he woke up, but Mitiko disappeared when he woke up. So with him feeling better now, he went to go help the other Rangers. His morph appeared, and he morphed up and went to go help the other Rangers to take down the ninja Naha monsters that make 5 copies of himself. So anyway, once Icha showed up in his ranger form, they transformed into the robot Taro forms, and basically working together as a team, they took down the ninja monster once and for all, and basically, the ninja guy was free from the Naha monster that took control of him, and basically like usual, another Avataro gear appeared in front of Black Kaido, that being the ninja gear, and basically the day was saved. So basically, now that Hakura and Shishi knows that Ijoshi is the Pink Ranger now, so basically, they finally know that so basically Hakura and Shishi knows that Ijoshi is the Pink Ranger now. So basically, they still need to find out but they still need to find out who is the Black Ranger, and try to get them all together and on the same page, just like these Naha monsters. So anyway, later that night, we see Ichoshi's wife Minako, in the dark making origami, making a clean origami paper, making a paper a paper crane, and basically turns out that Mimiko is Yoshi's right is probably possessed by a beastly, and that's how the episode ended with with Mimiko acting all strange and making a paper crane Omigami style, and basically this tells us that this tells us that that Mimiko is probably possessed by a beastly. So basically, based off the Jin's, it's based off the info that that Jin told Sonai and his comrade that only that the beasties are obsessed of making paper origami. Paper origami, penguins, cranes, and cats. So basically, the sense of making paper origami animals based off of cranes, cats, and penguins. So basically, this tells us that that Mimiko is possessed by Omi, and that's how the episode ended with Mimiko staring at her paper crane or looking all strange like